Mommy, I know that I'm not a bad person, right? I'm not even very difficult to love. And it takes very little things to make me happy or to impress me or to show me that you care and love me. So it is very weird when I hear someone complain that there were times that I asked for reassurances in a relationship. Guys, welcome to today's episode. My name is Mimi, and you're listening to A Dash of Colors. I trust that you are having a lovely morning or evening, whatever time it is. This is a self help channel for everyone who is on their journey of self love and of care. If you're a consistent listener, thank you so much for tuning in. And if this is your first time listening, welcome to our safe zone. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to turn on the notifications so that you would be informed whenever I upload an episode. So I am sharing something very exciting today, and I'm calling this reassurances in relationship because I know that people really do not understand what reassurances means. So I'll try to do a brief lecturing on this. So you might as well share it with anyone who may be struggling to understand this term or anyone who really needs to understand how these things work. So what is reassurances in relationships? Reassurances is more like seeking for a confirmation of feelings when your partner wants to know if both of you are still on the same terms or if you still have relatively the same feelings towards each other. And this is like the simplest definition of this. So I'll find a more concrete definition to make this more simpler for any other person who is already confused about what I'm trying to talk about. So it's very important that we understand that people come from different backgrounds. And what this implies is that people want to be loved differently. So your definition of love or what your love language is might be different from what your partner's love language is. So if you're dating someone whose love language is affirmations, words of affirmations, words of confirmation, words of encouragement, it means that this person constantly wants you to speak to them, constantly wants you to talk to them or to understand whatever thing that they are trying to communicate to you. So, but let's just focus on reassurances in relationships because people have always misunderstood reassurances for desperation. So I'll address that as fast as I can. So like I mentioned a while ago, that reassurances is when someone has some form of insecurity as regarding your relationship with them. Sometimes people can second guess whatever thing that you have with them, and they might have questions like, what are we doing, where is this going, and all that. So now before you go ahead of yourself to start making assumptions that this person is asking something of you, reassurances is just a simple way of supporting someone's insecurities. When someone says something like, where is this relationship going? Trust me, the person is not waiting for you to say, I'm going to marry you next week, I'm going to marry you next month. No, most times it's just to reaffirm your feelings for them, right? So instead of trying to avoid the situation or making it seem awkward or trying to put up this assumption that this person has very crazy expectations of you, just reaffirm what your feelings are for the person. Now, For me, in my previous relationship, I know that I was constantly seeking for reassurances, and this was not born out of any form of insecurity that he would leave or that we might not end up together. No, it was very different from me, because when I had my relationship, I had a lot of personal issues, right? And my relationship seemed like something that was very stable. Unlike every other thing in my life, it was basically the only stable thing that I had, and it wasn't something that I was willing to lose. And I had invested tons of my emotions and time and everything into it. So most times when I asked my ex, "What's up? Where is this going?" and then he tries to avoid the question. It was actually later on, after the breakup had happened, that he mentioned that he felt like I was asking. No, he said he had asked people questions and he realized that I was asking about marriage. And it's very funny because I know that I have always had this stance as regarding marriage and how I'm not ready for it, and it's not something that I'm willing to explore. So it's funny that someone that I was actively in a relationship with doesn't even know or didn't even know what my stance on marriage was. It's very, very funny. So if you're someone like me who, when you're with someone, you have questions about what you guys are doing, where you guys are going, I'll advise that you deal with your personal issues, because sometimes partners really do not understand that you are asking these questions out of a place of insecurity. So it is best to deal with your personal issues. So if you're in this position where you're constantly asking for reassurances, this is my advice to you. 1, breathe. Guys, it doesn't matter if whatever thing that you're obsessing over, if it comes to an end or not. You have your whole life ahead of you. You're going to meet tons of people. You're going to fall in love with different kinds of persons. So don't put yourself in a place where you're punishing yourself about something that you have with someone coming to an end, even before it comes to an end. So yes, take a huge, deep breath, right? And one of the good thing about breathing is it helps you relax, right? You are controlling your mind when you intentionally breathe in situations like that. So yes, you should actually definitely explore that. Then second, invest in self-care, right? I am the kind of person that would look out for every other person aside myself. I would love you, do stuff for you, go to the ends of the earth just to be with you. But when it's time for me to put in that same energy to me, into my own career, into the things that I like, I don't do those kinds of things for myself. And this is the reason why I feel like I always want to know if someone that I'm doing stuff for is willing to still stick with me, because I know that I am putting in my best into this particular thing, right? So the best thing to do is channel most of those energy into developing yourself, into loving yourself, into taking care of yourself. Invest in self-care, read as much as you can, go out, do your solo dates, do stuff that you really care about, right? Don't build yourself around these kinds of people, right? Then another thing that you have to do is to practice reassurance for yourself. Remind yourself that you deserve love, that you deserve care, that you deserve affection, and you do not need someone who makes you second guess yourself or second guess whatever thing that you have with them. So put yourself in that place where you understand that whatever thing that you are demanding for is not out of place, and it is certainly something that you deserve. So reassurances should not be mistaken for desperation, because most times people just want to know how much of you have given to them, just like they've given to you. That is how I feel about reassurances. So I've had guys complain about how some of the girls that they have been with had asked them questions like, "What are your plans for us? Where is this going? Or what are we now?" When this happens, especially when this person is someone that you have an active relationship with, please state what it is that you're doing with this person, right? It doesn't matter if what your plans are is the next 10 years. Constantly reaffirm that you love them, that you're willing to be with them as long as it takes, as long as whatever thing is on. Okay, so reassurances are not bad, and it should not be mistaken for desperation. I am only seeking to know if you love me as much as I love you. Okay, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So yeah, guys, I felt like I really needed to do this because I have had people accuse some other people of being desperate because they ask questions like, what are we doing? Where is this going? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you're serious with someone, you shouldn't have a problem with answering those kinds of questions. You shouldn't be with someone's daughter or son and then you're telling the person, let's keep going. Keep going where? That's a different gist for another day. But let's keep our minds into whatever thing that we do, and to all understand that when you're dating or going out with someone, you are going out with someone with a different personality. Someone has a different upbringing. So put that into consideration and do not expect the person to think like you. Do not expect the person to understand things the way you want it. Reassure them, remind them that you love them, remind them that you care about them, remind them that you want to do this with them as long as it takes. That is all that matters. So thank you very much for listening. And remember, if you haven't subscribed, please do not forget to subscribe and to turn on the notification bell so that when we upload episodes that you will be the first person to know. So remember, seeking reassurances from your partner can be a comforting response to fears and doubts that show up in a relationship. Right? It is not desperation. All you have to do is to quench whatever fear and doubt that your partner has, and that's all. Okay, so guys, I can't wait to speak to you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, bye.